This is Spare Parts, your show for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Stephen Cleary, Sean Cavarella, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Spare Parts. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And we don't have Taylor this week. I mean, she saw the Ferrari results from the Italian Grand Prix and was like, yeah, I'm out. So we haven't heard from her since, so we don't know where she is.
Only, 8 races to go? So
I'm sure she's hiding in a hole somewhere, just getting over the trauma of this season for Ferrari. She'll be back soon. Who knows?
after the season ends, probably. I was going to say end of season, but no. Why bother at that point? Just come back when there's the renewed hope.
No, she'll make an appearance for sure. She can't not,
Well, I mean, we do have 3 weeks off, so.
Is it that long?
Yes, sadly.
So, 3 weeks off for F1. IndyCar's done. So it's just NASCAR. Oh, Taylor's, we're not going to see her for a while, are we?
No, not at the very least 2 weeks.
Well, we tried. Anyways, how you doing, Steven?
I know you're doing much better than I am in the betting lately, so not as good as you.
I had 2 months, like July, August of just pain. Lost everything. Only, what was it? Lost everything basically. Everyone I bet on came second. This weekend I made it literally all back. And
Wow.
the addiction keeps on going. So yeah. And now I just got a free $50 thing because apparently my account may have been compromised. So
We logged on at the same time. Where the fuck is my $50? Logging back in.
Sucks to suck. No. It was apparently because I logged in last week.
Yeah, I log in every fucking day. What the fuck?
You win some, you lose some. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sucks to be you.
I'm losing big. I got $13 last week off of Max, and that was it. That's all the money I get.
Yeah, I was on a roll this weekend. I nailed Leclerc on pole. I nailed Tyler Reddick on pole. I had Joe in the points. I had Pelot winning. I had Bubba winning. I was rolling it this weekend. I was just so happy. Oh, and I had Christopher Bell in the top 10, top 5, whatever the heck it was. It was good. It was a good week. I'm sorry for your loss, Steven, but I can finally say suck it.
You know what? Your luck has finally turned around, so you know what? That's fine.
Yeah, it's turned around just as, motorsports ends. And the funny thing is, though, I don't lose a lot of money in motorsports. I lose it on the other stuff. So now I got to not touch it until motorsports comes back, like IndyCar.
Well,
and
F1. Yeah, you got. Well, the good thing for you is NASCAR runs a long time and kicks off early. So
literally, my only hope is NASCAR. I think I've actually made the most money this year off NASCAR.
There you go. And it's still got lots of time left. So
actually, no. I think it was definitely Indy because I had the 500. I had Ericsson early, right? Yeah, I think it was 500 I made the most off of.
there you go.
But yeah, just gotta bank it and have it for next year.
Exactly. So you can lose it, and make it all back in 2 weeks, and be happy.
Speaking of losing it and making it all back, I think we should talk about IndyCar first.
Yes, definitely, because that season's now over, sadly.
That season is over, but that was honestly one of the best championship finales in a while. You had a drive through the field from Joseph Newgarden. You had Will Power doing everything he could just to be up there and be in the right spot. And you had Pelot, the guy who's been the center of controversy all year, dummying the entire field.
Yeah.
And you had, I think, all five of your guys in championship contention were in the top 10 at the end.
Which is what you want.
Yeah,
You want the drama.
precisely. So yeah, going into this IndyCar weekend, you had, as I said, 5 guys looking for the championship. You had Joseph Newgarden, Will Power, what else was it? Scott McLaughlin, Scott Dixon. Who else? Oh, and Marcus Ericsson. All 5 of those guys were technically and mathematically still in this.
Yeah,
And
well, McLaughlin needed everyone to crash out, but
yeah, him and Ericsson basically needed it came down to a 3-horse fight really at the end. It was mostly Power, Dixon, and Newgarden. Qualifying was fun because Newgarden fucked up.
yeah, to beached it is putting it very lightly. Sort of just overcooks it into the corkscrew, and yeah, he's just sort of had his nose on the pavement, back tires on the
sand.
On the sand. He got the he thought the off season started about 2 days early.
What do you think was going through his mind there? Like, he had to be like just pissed.
Oh yeah, just fuck.
Did you see his interview after qualifying?
A bit of it, I think.
Basically, long story short, he said that they took the fastest car here and just threw it away.
Yep, just stuck it at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did the right thing and he owned up to it, which, like, you can't blame anyone else but yourself there. So,
But yeah, so in doing that, though, he also kind of almost screwed over Dixon, who barely made it out of the first round of qualifying.
Did he make? I don't think he made it out, dude.
Did he not? Oh.
No, he was right on the bubble. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yes. He was the fastest car not to advance in qualifying. I think he was like 13th or something to start. So he didn't make it to the Fast 12.
He was 7th. He ran a 112.17.
Oh, yes, but he started 13th.
Yeah, so he was 0.09 off there, and his... Yeah,
anyway. It doesn't matter completely of the whole thing, but know that, yeah, Newgarden blew it. Dixon didn't have a good lap, started in the middle. And Power ended up on pole, getting that important bonus point.
Well, and also more importantly, finally takes the solo record of poles in IndyCar.
Yeah, he is the most pole awarded. How would you say that?
Best qualifier.
Best qualifier ever?
Leave it at that. That's the easy way. He qualifies really. He's not a bad qualifier.
IndyCar's fastest qualifier ever. How about that?
There you go.
Let's go with that. So yeah, he finally holds that record alone and got that all-important point for the championship. And knew going into the race that his real championship rivals were in the back and middle of the pack.
Yep.
It was smooth sailing for him, really, for the first half of the race.
Yeah, just keep your nose clean and don't do anything overly aggressive. You hold the power to not make any mistakes. If they're starting like top 10 even, then you got to be aggressive.
Yeah. And
or
I guess
more aggressive.
Another guy to call or shout out who had a great qualifying was Callum Ilott. He put it second.
Yeah. Him and Lundgaard have been solid towards the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were already doing pretty well, but really the last couple races, I think we're seeing what the young guys can do and bring come next year.
Well, like I think it's really good for Ilott to get that front row, especially after Juncos announced they plan on running 2 cars next year. They want to expand to be a team of 2, so have Ilott and someone else coming in or moving there. Who it is, we'll see. Just more to add to the silly season.
Yep.
But okay, so you have 26 cars in the grid this year for IndyCar. Let's say we add another Juncos, then you're up to 27.
Yep.
If we add back the AJ Foyt car that was lost, you're up to then 28. there was a lot
pretty
of you can get a pretty good field there.
Yeah.
Because you also had in this race Peretta Autosports with Simona.
Yep.
So IndyCar is looking like a pretty healthy grid now.
Yep.
But so
amazing what having a couple extra cars can do for entertainment.
Are you
mentioning any series?
Are you taking a shot at a specific pinnacle of motorsports? Allegedly?
I would never. They've never done anything wrong. They're doing it perfectly fine.
We're talking about NASCAR, right?
Yes, obviously. The one that runs even more cars.
That have also been losing cars, I swear to God, every year.
Yep.
Back in my day, they ran 43 cars in every race.
And only 10 made it to the finish line.
At least. Sometimes even just 2.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, Will Power dominated the race for the first half. Like he was clearly in the position to win the championship. And then, as mentioned about Cal Milot, great start. Unfortunately, the car died on him, bringing out a yellow.
Unfortunately. But it wasn't the most rushed yellow, right?
It's that thing IndyCar has been doing where it's car is out. We need to throw a yellow to remove said car.
Yep.
Okay, everyone, come in for your pit stop. Come get it. Come take it. We're gonna let everyone get your pit stop, and then throw the yellow. Steven, what is the yellow flag for?
To neutralize the race.
Why?
Because there's a safety hazard, we'll say.
Yeah. No, I think this is a great, and we can talk about the F1 thing also about this later. There is a safety hazard. So if there's a safety hazard out, why don't you just throw the yellow anyway? And okay, maybe while we're doing it, we can get even crazier. And the second there's a safety hazard, yes, we'll throw the yellow. But we won't close the pits. Wow, what a concept.
Well, I mean, the funny part with that is this one I think they would have had to, because I'm pretty sure Islet was out right at the pit exit or entrance. Either way, he wasn't on he was off just past the exit. Yeah.
In a place where he had to be recovered, but not in a place that was but again, how can you say that when they let everyone pit before they threw the yellow? So clearly it didn't matter even if he was close to the exit.
Yeah.
But yeah. I hate using yellows and being cautious to throw a yellow as a type of race manipulation. Because because you're being fair doesn't mean you're being fair. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's
the whole with hockey we have the when you make a call or don't make a call, it's to promote fairness between the amount of penalties each team gets.
Okay.
But by doing that, you're artificially giving one team an advantage because one team might deserve more penalties.
Yes.
So you're still calling it unfairly.
So here's the thing that I kind of want to also say. It's IndyCar has gotten less unpredictable in the last year and a half since they've kind of been doing this caution strategy, especially on road courses, because it neutralizes the off strategy. Because previously, if you had the other type of strategy, right? Usually the one that is either, okay, we're going to force stop this and we're going to be off sequence, but if there's a caution, we vault to the front. We don't have those anymore in IndyCar because everyone gets to pit. So everyone's now going to get put on the same strategy. So in terms of racing, it's fun because you get just the hard racing. However, it kills the strategy aspect of it.
Yep.
So to me,
You gotta lock into your strategy.
if a yellow needs to be thrown immediately. If let the chips fall.
Yep.
It might screw you. It might help you. It'll balance itself out over time. So,
You might think it helps you now, and then it screws you later.
which
The magic of it.
you could argue almost happened to Will Power because all of a sudden he had Joseph Newgarden right on his tail on the same strategy in a fast car. And Newgarden was making moves. Like, despite spinning in the corkscrew was his corner the entire race. Right? Like, every move he was making, he was just sending it up the inside and just being like, well, this is mine now.
Yep.
Thank you.
See ya.
So, you then had basically Will Power kind of being like, okay, you're here. I'm just going to chill. Go ahead, Joseph. I still have the point advantage. And even despite Joseph Newgarden's speed, Alex Palou won this race by 30 seconds.
Which is insane.
Yeah. So, I don't really know what's going to happen with Alex Palou. Apparently on the broadcast, they said his buyout is $10 million.
What did you just say about that? My headphones just got out.
Boo. Alex Palou's buyout is $10 million.
Yeah, that's yeah, if I'm Chip, I'm saying screw that. You're staying until someone like legally pries you away, you're still mine.
I think that's a perfect number for him, honestly.
Yeah. Well, how much was Daniel Ricciardo rumored to be again? 21 for 1 year?
What did he get bought out? Was that what it was?
I don't know. That was the rumor, so.
So then, okay, so let's say Ricciardo was in like the 20 million or something like that. And to buy out, but Ricciardo was to buy out so he doesn't drive for you. Palou is buy out so he can drive for you.
Yeah.
Is Palou at $10 million a bad deal?
Depends where you're sticking him. Because it's not in an F1 McLaren, that's for sure.
If you're McLaren, is it a bad deal?
No, but I think for me, it would also depend where you're sticking him.
So, if you buy him out, but no, hear me out. You buy him out, and then you lock him down to, say, a 5-year contract with McLaren. And it's a 5-year, we put you wherever we want you contract.
Yep.
Lando's up after the end of next year, isn't he?
Oh, that's true.
What if Lando then all of a sudden jumps ship? Because, I don't know, say Lewis Hamilton retires. There's a seat available.
Oh,
All of a sudden, McLaren's left holding the bag there. Oh, you wanted Colton Herta? Well, he might become property of Red Bull soon.
yeah.
If I'm Zach Brown, honestly, I still consider getting Alex Palou even at that number.
Yeah, and I mean, you're not paying Piastri much this year. Like, even with it probably balances out that you're basically just paying an extra driver between him and Ricciardo's buyout.
Yeah, and you're keeping yourself. And worst case scenario, he dominates IndyCar for you, and all of a sudden, McLaren is a top name in IndyCar.
Yep. Between him, O'Ward, Rossi.
That's gonna be a good team.
Yep.
Yeah, or who knows, maybe because that whole Porsche Red Bull deal has apparently kind of fallen through now. This leaves the door open for the Porsche Andretti team, people have been saying. So maybe Andretti can get in that way, and all of a sudden you get another team on the grid. Alex Palou can go in with that because Zach Brown and Michael have a good relationship. You know, there's a lot of good things here, and I think a team should definitely take Palou.
He's not going to have a problem finding or getting into a seat. He's shown this year he's far too talented. Even with all the off-track distractions, he was still tied for 4th.
That is nuts, right? Tied for 4th in the championship, plus torpedoing himself mid-year because of the whole contract thing.
Yep.
Absolutely insane.
And that's off the back of a championship last year, so
Yeah.
I think again, he won't have a problem getting into a car. It's just what car is he going to be in? I mean, again, at this point, we know it's not an F1 car, but it's probably the Indy car.
Yeah, probably. It's just to me, what team is he with? Is he going to be back with Ganassi? Has him dominating the field? Chip, his whole "I like winners" thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Chip can kind of bear the hatchet for a year, or you sign him to a bigger contract with an actual F1 out clause. Maybe there is a way of doing that. If Europe is where he wants to go, maybe you keep signing him, but you also give him a clause in case he does get an opportunity. That keeps you happy. That keeps Pillow happy. Then if McLaren suddenly does need a driver, they can go to him, and it's written in there. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yep, it's a long off season. There's still so much that needs to be figured out on the legal side before any of that happens. Because if it's, I mean, in the end, like Zach Brown's not going to say, "Well, I'm going to pay." Like they're both going to wait for the ruling, because Zach Brown's not going to be like, "Yeah, fine, I'll just spend $10 million because I feel like it." He'll still wait it out, and then if it's okay, the only way we can get him is by spending $10 million. Okay, that's the only way. Now we know, but there's no point in saying, yeah, we're going to spend $10 million. Two weeks later, oh, we could have gotten him for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever Zach Brown answers to, whatever board or group he answers to, would just be like, what you can't just spend $10 million like that.
I mean, McLaren throws around money like it's nothing, so I guess it is kind of nothing to them. So,
yeah. But
at the end of the day, Will Power was your IndyCar champion this year. And
very deserved.
Honestly, Will Power is putting himself up there as a top 10 all-time driver of the series.
Yeah, he's got 2 championships now.
Two championships, winning in polls.
Yep, could have easily been more than 2 as well. Like it's not like he's sort of just timed it well. Like what was it, 2011? Didn't he have like 5 or 6 wins and didn't win the championship?
I'm pretty sure he like wrecked out of the final race of the championship, something like that. Like he's been close a few times until he finally won in 2014.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's been there.
Over 40 wins. Now your top pole sitter of all time.
Oh, did you say 2011, by the way?
Was it 2011?
No, 2011 was the we don't talk about 2011.
Oh, okay.
It's the finale for 2011 we don't talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was 2012 that he had a chance and
2012
wrecked out. Yeah.
It was around there. He was like I saw there was apparently some debate of, well, he doesn't deserve it. He only had 1 win. Newgarden had 5. And it's like, no, like
he had 12 top 5 finishes.
Yeah, like he deserves it. Just because he didn't win every race doesn't mean like if what's more impressive, if a guy was to win a championship by coming, he's either second or third every single race, he'll never win, but his top challenger is a guy who wins 6 races but finishes 20th.
Oh, cool to hear.
Another 6. Yeah, basically.
Exactly. And like especially looking at the championship, how different it could have been, considering all the top 4 had terrible Indy 500s.
Yep.
Like Power was 15th, Newgarden was 13th, Dixon was 21st, and McLaughlin was 29th. Any one of these guys has a good 500. This championship is different.
Yep.
But because they all didn't, it made the points battle that much better. Because it really depended on your actual on-track performance every single week. And when Power starts off the season 3rd, 4th, 3rd, then Indy, but then he finally gets a win after that. And then, has a bad Road America, podium. Bad Toronto, podium. Podium. Like he really did put himself in a position to win early on in the season where he could afford to basically have a bad race as long as he had to bounce back the next one.
Yep. And he delivered on those bounce backs.
Yeah. Like Newgarden won 2 of the first 5 races, or 2 of the first 6, but everything else, he wasn't even in the top 10 out of those first 6. So I think I've always been a fan of winning over consistency, which is personally why I'm usually against the NASCAR playoff style. But in this situation, I think Will Power definitely deserved that.
Yeah. Well, and let's not crack that NASCAR debate open again.
No, we don't have to.
It's different when you split the season into 2 separate areas.
Yes.
So,
alas,
you get the best of both worlds there.
And somehow in the end, Scott Dixon is also right there.
Yep.
The guy,
Shocker.
I know. It's infuriating how he just seems to always be there.
Yep.
Though I do next season though, you got look out for McLaughlin. He be coming.
Yep. McLaughlin and the young guys, or this new wave of young guys from overseas. Again, I think Lundgaard and Eilert have shown that they can be competitive next year. So
McLaughlin went 9 out of the last 10 races in the top 10.
So basically, if he does that in the second half, he's fighting Will Power for Mr. Consistency.
If he does that and has a good 500 next year, yeah, he's right in the championship hunt again.
And then if he does that and Power does that, then we have to bring George Russell over, and then we have to have a 3-way battle for Mr. Consistency.
I like where your head's at. I support this.
There we go. And they alternate cars, which would be really funny.
And then, if they're still tied, it'll be a 3-man sack race held on consecutive Sundays to determine who is the winner.
Consecutive Sundays, not bi-weekly?
I can't remember. It's a basketball quote.
I know.
I can't remember the actual thing for that stupid playoff thing. But that's one of the best scenes in that movie is when they go over all the whole playoff scenario.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's IndyCar. Anything else to add?
That is IndyCar. It's not gone forever, considering we also just spent 5 minutes on Alex Palou and his contract situation. And, like Sean said, additional cars. There's still lots going to be happening with IndyCar, but on track, not so much.
And when Taylor's back, we'll go over our predictions for the season. Yeah. I was close. I had Newgarden. I was close. I don't think anyone had Power, though.
You were close, but that only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, so fuck off.
Fair enough.
Did you put money on him to place? No? Well, you didn't win shit.
Didn't even put money on him to win the championship because it was never available.
Yeah, I wish it was.
It was for a minute, and I didn't do it then.
Oh.
And then, it never came up. It
mattered anyways.
I know. So, yeah. I want to talk about NASCAR now.
Oh, NASCAR. So, is the 23 cursed?
Oh, definitely it's 23 is cursed. I don't know what else to say besides yes, 23 is cursed.
Yeah, so if you didn't watch, Bubba won a race, which makes is hilarious because he just switched over to the 45 with Kurt Busch being out. Ty Gibbs got shifted to the 23.
What happened to Ty Gibbs?
You got taken out in stage 2?
Yep.
So, that 23 is cursed.
100%. Meanwhile, the 45, who won in the last time they raced here, wins again. Different driver, though.
Yep.
Like, that is amazing.
Bet on the 45 in Kansas.
I did, and I won. Hey-o.
Look at you go.
Or just bet on a Toyota.
That too. That would also help. I bet on a different Toyota, and it didn't work out so well. So
you did Busch, didn't you?
Truex.
Ooh.
It's a top five, but
I mean,
not good enough.
The worst one in the top 5.
Yep.
Yeah, so Bubba won, and I think that win meant more to him than the Talladega one last year.
Yes.
Because with the Talladega one last year, you had that asterisk beside it. Well, it was a rain delay. Does it really count as your first win? This is a playoff race where you being outside the playoff beat everyone else and basically get to go give them the finger as you finally beat everyone on fair terms. No rain. You were just the fastest guy in the day. And he was good all day.
I was going to say, it wasn't like he just had a good third stage. He was up there the entire time.
He didn't Alex Bowman it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Kyle, calm down. Yeah, no, he started off stage 3 on the front row. So he put himself in a good spot. It was funny enough, I think it was him and Bowman leading the field to green in stage 3. So
well, that was the thing also though, like not only was like Bubba up there all day though, but especially in the stage, like the third stage, when finally we started getting long green flag runs, he just, as soon as the car got to like a certain, like maybe like 20 laps in, it just started pulling away from guys.
Yeah,
it was very good in the long runs. And even at the end there, like I was nervous, like having money on Bubba when Denny's catching him, and you can see him catching him. And it's like 15 to go, and it's like, oh man, he's catching him like 0.3 a lap. Oh, he's got him. But then he got within a second and just died. He just couldn't have it, and then Bubba started pulling away again.
Yep, and that would have, not that Denny really needs a win. He's still sitting third in the playoffs right now, but there's no guarantees. Your top your top 2 guys, I think, so far were going into the playoffs are now out. Or not out, but like they've fallen way off the lead. So
not only though is what is it? The 23 is cursed. Someone put a curse on Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, and you know what? I had money on him too, because I even said last week he looked like shit in at Darlington. Everyone thinks he's going to be out. He's going to somehow win in Kansas, and no, he did not.
No,
he got put in the wall too. So
I think it's like one of the first times in his career or something I saw that like he had DNF 3 races in a row.
Yeah, he's had a rough go.
Yeah, that's his playoff chances are done. But
unless he somehow wins in what's it called in I almost said Kansas.
What's next? Martinsville?
Sure.
I actually have no idea.
Bristol.
Is it Bristol?
It is Bristol.
I knew it was a short track. So we're 2 races into the first round of the playoffs, and no playoff driver has won yet.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
And only one guy has locked himself into the next stage. That's Christopher Bell in points.
Chris Bell.
Yeah.
That stage 1 win he had was huge, I guess.
I guess it was just enough.
Yeah. Well, again, so you've got who are our top 2 coming into this? It was Chase Elliott and Larson, right? Or Chastain?
Yes.
Either way, they're sitting outside the top 5 now.
Yeah. Right now, the guys who are on the outside looking in is Harvick, Briscoe, Dillon, and Busch.
Yeah.
No surprise on, like, Harvick and Dillon.
Yeah.
We kind of predicted that one. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised who's hanging on, who's possibly at risk. Like, you have a guy like a Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson even having a bad race next race, and, one of these guys who are like Kevin Harvick wins. Dude, this playoffs could be really fun. And you should, honestly, if you're right now, put money on Christopher Bell.
Yeah.
That would be my bet right now. He is coming on strong, and he's just been consistent the last few races.
Sorry, Christopher, you're going to wreck out in the round of 12.
I mean, maybe. But also, it seems that whenever there is a race, all the Toyotas are at least the top, including the 2 who are not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess it's 3 not in the playoffs.
Let's see, I'm just trying to pull up the odds for NASCAR if they've got it. See what your bet looks like right now.
If you're to bet on Christopher Bell,
yeah,
I'm sure it's
Chase Elliott's still the favorite. Know what? I might do this.
which Christopher Bell.
Chris Bell's going 11, plus 1100. It's him, Kyle Busch, William Byron are all at 1100, and Ryan Blaney's just ahead at plus 1000. I might be gambling tonight.
I think that is a strong bet to take at this point because you at least know he's locked in.
Yep.
And he has a good chance of getting a win too.
Let's throw a fiver at that. Yep.
Like, okay. Guys who will advance the next round as of right now. Do we see them being able to get a win? Austin Cindric.
I mean, maybe.
Probably not.
I don't know. He won once and was second, I think, at one point as well. For another race recently. I can't remember which one.
I mean, you do have Talladega in the next thing.
Third in Daytona.
So maybe he can pull off a win in Talladega in the next round. But but who knows who can win? Anyone can win at Talladega, right?
Yep.
Like maybe like a Bubba Wallace could win there. Who knows?
If he stays with the 45, that'd be You know what?
Bet on Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, there you go.
Ty Gibbs for Talladega.
Yep.
So 23, maybe?
Him or Harrison Burton, because why not?
Ooh, those are good ones. I don't see Cindric being able to get a win. I don't see Suarez getting a win in like at the end of this round or the next round. I don't necessarily see Chastain getting a win. He could, but I don't see it's not that likely in my opinion. You know?
So we got Texas, Dega, and Charlotte. Oh.
Do you see Bowman getting a win?
I could see him backing into one, yeah.
Nice. And do you see Blaney getting a win?
The way his year's gone, no.
Blaney is going to be there in the final 4 without a win. I hope you know that.
He hasn't had a win all year.
Nope.
And he's still hanging around.
He's going to come second in this championship without a win.
Yep.
He's going to finish second in Phoenix and just be there.
Yep. And just say, I don't know. Just can't win.
Yeah. But still... But that shuts everyone up to say, like, oh, what about consistency? You can still compete for a championship and be consistent. And I think Bell is a good option at this point.
Yep. And Blaney top 3 finish.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But yeah, so Bristol next, and then we finally get our first cut. Do you see anyone falling out? You got Cindric and Reddick +2 right now over Busch and Dillon.
I don't, honestly. Maybe Busch gets up there. He had a bad weekend this week. So did Reddick, though. You know, I think Reddick lost a tire. Busch spun. If anyone's going to drop out, it'll probably be Austin Cindric. Or Suarez. Maybe, if he has a bad week.
Yeah. I can see Suarez dropping out.
Man, Harvick has such a mountain to climb.
Hey, all it takes is a win, so...
Uh-huh. And how has he been at that this year?
Not great, but he did win twice. So.
Yeah, it wasn't like back to back, and then he did nothing, did that, and that's it.
Michigan and Richmond, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Bristol? Oh, it was Bristol on the dirt, so they didn't. Oh.
It's not comparable.
Yep, nothing to compare it to last year.
Nope.
Or unless we go to last year, but that's not the same car, and that was still on dirt. So Kyle Larson won in Bristol last year.
It'll be fun to see what happens. Actually, another guy who could see, I could see Kyle Busch being out of there. I don't see. He hasn't really had a good season. He only won once because of luck. He could be a guy that's out.
Harvick came second at Bristol last year. So we'll see what happens.
That's fair. Okay, for my betting strategy for Bristol, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back through last year's schedule, right?
Yep.
Look at 2021 NASCAR.
Yep.
See who did well at Bristol in the playoffs.
Kevin Harvick.
See what other tracks they did well at during the year, and then see how that translates back. For example, Kevin Harvick came second at Bristol last year. He came fifth at Nashville. And sixth at Phoenix. Kind of higher speed, higher downforce tracks. But also shorter tracks, right?
Yep.
So then I would be like, okay, so I got a comparable there. Do any other guys kind of check out with that? Okay, let's look at a guy like Ross Chastain was 14th at Bristol. Okay, not a good comparison. Alex Bowman. Bowman was 5th at Bristol last year. Where else did Bowman do well last year? I said Nashville. Where did he do Nashville? He was 14th in Nashville. Maybe that's not a good comparison. He was 1st at Dover. Maybe that's the comparison you want to look at. Look at Kevin Harvick. He was 6th at Dover, 2nd at Bristol. Maybe there is something there. So basically, you kind of look and see which teams perform well at certain tracks and see where the correlation is between them. Take that data into this year's and then kind of compare, okay, who did well at Dover this year? If Dover is not the same necessarily, but it's again a high speed, higher downforce short track, right?
Yeah.
So if we're looking at like Harvick and we're looking at Busch, did they do well at Dover this year? Harvick came 9th, Busch 7th. I don't know if they'll win that. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott won that race, and Chastain was 3rd. So I'd put money on Elliott and Chastain for this week. That's your betting tips from me.
Yeah, so don't bet on. Well, actually, no. Do go with the hot hand.
I know, right? Clearly.
So.
But yeah, that's. I don't know about Busch and Harvick. I think they're done. Bear luck next year?
Pretty safe. Yeah, it's a pretty safe bet.
Bear luck next year if you're back. Ugh.
If you're back. Well, okay, so I guess to wrap up, we can do some of the silly season stuff because obviously Busch, I think we talked about it, but just to reiterate, Busch is officially out of
Gibbs.
Joe Gibbs.
Yep.
So he tweeted yesterday apparently that he has an announcement to make, and that will be made tomorrow. So
what
Tuesday.
is with announcing announcements?
Well, why not?
It's like, hey, I got an announcement tomorrow. See you there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. So one of the rumors that has been flying around is that he's going to RCR. Now, a lot of fakes go out, but someone actually took a screenshot of an article from RCR's website that had announced Kyle was going to RCR. I followed that link when we kicked off the show, and that page was non-existent. So it could have been fake, but the fact that it wasn't just a screenshot of a tweet with a bad edit, like there was also one for 2311 Racing. So,
Fair enough.
And it had details of that they were getting a charter from somewhere else on the grid. Didn't say it might have been Rick Ware. I don't know. But anyways, that's the current leading contender for where Kyle Busch ends up.
Interesting.
Yep. I mean, it's not. We know a couple things. It's not in because we missed a couple of signings last week. It's not with Trackhouse because Suarez just re-upped there for a year. Stuart Haas somehow coaxed Eric Amarola out of retirement because he's back at Stuart Haas. But I don't think Busch would have gone there anyways because that's Ford. So.
But if he's going to RCR, they're Chevy, aren't they?
Yeah, but I don't.
I wonder if maybe they'll hop to Toyota. Who knows? Maybe get more Toyotas in the grid.
Yeah,
I think Chevys are the dominant. So maybe you can get more of a 30% from all the manufacturers if they hop to Toyota too.
Yeah. So we will find out tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern what the big secret is here.
Retirement.
Yeah, it could be that too.
It should be.
Signs a lifetime deal with family.
That's a bad deal. Okay. Anyway,
Anywho, that's NASCAR.
F1 talk to finish.
Not much to talk about.
Race kind of
So,
sucked.
Sure. Yep. DRS train.
DRS train. Verstappen's fast and wins. Shocker.
Gets help from safety car because FIA love Verstappen.
Really? Really gonna pull that card? Okay,
Well,
let's
Taylor's not here, so someone has to do it.
I know. DeVries got a point in his debut. Good for him. Alex Albon almost died.
He was driver of the day as well.
True.
He deserved it.
Alex Albon almost died, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, that news came out today that he apparently had like a respiratory failure after his appendicitis surgery.
Yep.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yep.
So, good thing he actually has a few weeks to recover because I don't think he would be back in a car this week.
No, I mean the only person upset with that is probably Nick DeVries, but I mean, it's more I don't get a chance to race another car after having a really great weekend. So, great weekend, great Sunday.
And like Latifi's done, right?
I think at this point you have to.
He'll look really good driving for AJ Foyt next year.
There you go.
Hey, what was it? Tatiana, your check bounced. Nikki's, yours cleared. Indigo.
Yeah. The only reason it cleared is because Daddy signed it.
Exactly.
So.
Which is a shame. Actually, I really do like Latifi. I think he'd be so much better in the IndyCar paddock.
Yep. Well, for whatever, so we've talked about him before. He's had success at multiple levels. He's not just a pure pay driver, right? Like, yes, the pay probably helps him get into better teams, but he still was able to be successful. He wasn't just putting around. Like, the reason Mazepin got harped on is because he was shit in the lower series, but the only reason he got into Haas was because of the money, because there was at least 5 better drivers in F2.
Yeah, exactly.
That just didn't have the cash, and that's what Haas needed. So
yeah, looking at you, Callum Ilott, he should have been in that seat over Mazepin. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So
yeah, but anyways, so he wasn't. But for whatever reason, he hasn't put anything together at F1. Now he's driving a Williams, but the fact that you see George doing well with similar equipment, you see Albon doing well with similar equipment after taking a year off. You have Nick DeVries come in from FE and
running the points.
Run the points. He got some help with the fact that like half the grid took a penalty, but I'm pretty sure everyone that took a penalty was past him afterwards. So
he did well.
Doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Maybe that isn't such a bad car. Maybe it's the driver. Maybe Latifi just can't handle that car and can't handle an F1 car.
Yep. And I think that's not that it's finally been proven. We've sort of known, but this will be nail in the coffin.
And like, no offense though, like, what if Latifi becomes like a Rossi?
Yeah.
If you remember, Alex Rossi was not that good of an F1 driver.
No.
He kind of he puttered around the back. He was on a shit team. Gets to F1, all of a sudden being able to muscle the car more, and that suits you. So I hope Latifi makes that jump.
Yep.
Mostly
I think it would be quite a reset for him if he did.
I just want to see AJ Foyt's team be filled with like just paying Canadians, really.
Yeah.
And whoever's up from Indy Lights. Basically, it's it.
It could be your boy Matt Clark.
Maybe one day, yes. Just have an all Canadian team run by AJ Foyt, the most American guy there is.
AJ Foyt takes a step back and says, "Hinch, you're going to run the team. Make it all Canadian."
You know, I'm here for this.
Yeah, I'd be buying merch. I have no money. I would still buy merch tomorrow if that happened.
I would tattoo all of their faces on me if that happened.
Finish bottom 3 in every single race. Fuck.
So yeah, the F1 thing I wanted to talk about though was the safety car thing. Same issue that IndyCar did is that the Ricciardo's car stopped on the track.
Yep.
Why did they wait so long to declare a safety car?
Don't know, but even when they finally did, it still felt like it took 3 laps for them to even like. Do you remember seeing the safety car for like
no
half of the actual period?
No, they weren't behind it. They just apparently everyone was just passing it. Like he wasn't collecting anyone, which defeats the purpose of the safety car. Just collect whoever's it comes upon. You're stuck behind it. Sort it out after. Just get the field, everyone behind it.
Yep.
Like wow. And then the worst part is there was 2 laps to go in the race. The track was clear.
Yep.
So you really could have made that a whole lot smoother. Like IndyCar and F1 really need to nail down their safety car regulations.
Yep. Well, you know what F1 could do? They could take a note here and get a mobile truck to come and pick that car up like IndyCar does. That would help. Because you had marshals trying to put it in gear, it wouldn't go, and they just sort of stood there and gave up. That was another 2 laps.
They were also standing there waiting for everyone to get behind the safety car, so a tractor could just come out, pick it up in 2 seconds, take it away.
Yep.
Like I don't know. And also, the second a driver is out of his car next to the side of a track, a safety car should 100% be thrown immediately.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Especially, like, again, it's a safety issue.
Well, and especially around a place that is dubbed the Temple of Speed. There's not a lot of slow parts there.
Yeah. Like, worst case scenario is you stop your car on the side of the road, you go to get out of it, and all of a sudden a wild Latifi hits you.
Yeah.
Had to be Latifi, you know.
Yeah.
Had to kind of throw that in there.
Yep.
But yeah.
Anyways,
I don't understand the whole point of like, do we want a safety car to be used for race manipulation or there for safety? I think there is a way you can do both and do it right. The IndyCar side chose we're going to use the safety car as just basically a way of everyone get a free pit stop. Okay, let's reset this behind the safety car.
Yep.
Again, a little race manipulation, kind of turned it into a sprint race. F1 took the opposite and went, okay, everything stops. Everything's behind the safety car. Nothing's going to happen. We're done. It's not safe.
Yep.
There is a way you can have it be safe, not overly affecting competition, but also not fucking people over as well, and giving fans an actual ending.
Yep. Because that could have finished under green, and it probably ends with the same result of Max winning because he blew past everybody. Like he was second P2 by lap 5, 6, right? So
Yeah.
I don't think Leclerc, even on fresh softs, they weren't fresh. They were slightly scuffed.
Did Ferrari fuck themselves over?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I was watching with Sarah, and I was like, I agree with every move they're making here.
Yep, I don't think they had the speed.
No, they didn't. You were screwed if you did. You're screwed if you didn't. Max and Red Bull is just faster.
And like the only way is if Sainz isn't taking a penalty, you start 1-2, and Sainz is weaving down the front straight the entire race.
Yeah.
That's the only way. They
like for all the Ferrari fans out there who are like, oh well, like if Ferrari didn't do this call, we would have had him, or if they let us go back racing after the safety car, we would have had him.
No. No. He was on a brand new pair of reds.
To quote Dom from Fast and Furious, "You never had me. You never had your car."
Yeah.
Ferrari was not going to win this race ever.
Yeah, it's a good thing they don't race for slips in F1.
Could you imagine? That would actually be really fun.
Well, Red Bull would own the entire grid at this point, so.
Don't they already?
Yeah, that's true. So, but 8 more races of Red Bull dominance.
How long until Max can clinch the championship?
I think he can clinch it next race.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Oh my god. With 7? Oh, that's nuts.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 races to go. Sorry. There was 9 after the break.
Okay. Wow, 6 to go. This year's flown by.
Yep. Yeah, so let's actually here. We can go over to the driver standings. Max is currently ahead by 116 points.
Wow.
335 to 219. Perez could probably pass him or pass Leclerc. So the fight is really for second place because you have Leclerc at 219, Perez at 210, Russell at 203. That is a tight little race.
Yeah, that is tight. And even the constructors is tight between Ferrari and Mercedes.
That it is.
Ferrari and Mercedes, that's a tight battle to watch. Alpine McLaren, that's a tight battle. Aston to Alfa Romeo is a tight battle. Though I think
you're really trying to squeeze in Aston.
Well, I'm saying Aston to Haas is tight because if any one of those teams has a big weekend, they jump huge.
Aston needs a big weekend, and the fact that they double DNF'd this week, I don't think that's coming anytime soon.
That could have been a smart save the engine kind of play.
I don't think it's coming. They haven't shown enough this year.
I think they'll be better at Singapore because we saw them at Zandvoort with that high speed high downforce. They were a lot stronger. So I think Singapore they'll be strong. And that's kind of it. Maybe Abu Dhabi.
Yes. Yeah, so 2 out of 4 races that they need to make up 27 points. Yeah.
Okay, I'm more saying like Aston Martin can compete and try to catch AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri and Haas can compete to try to catch Alfa Romeo. Is that better?
Okay.
Instead of saying they're all in one. There's fights that are happening between each one of the teams there.
Sure.
AlphaTauri and Haas is a 1-point difference.
Yes, that is a tight race. I think Alfa Romeo at this point is just sort of on their own little island in Formula C.
Aren't they D at this point? Because they have like A being Red Bull, B being Ferrari.
They're Formula D.
Great. Okay.
And hey, you know what? If they kick Latifi now and let De Vries race, and Albon comes back and with full health, Mercedes could jump up to Formula E, and then Nick De Vries is right at home.
You mean Williams? You said Mercedes.
Oh yes, Williams, Mercedes.
You killed your own joke before it even happened.
Whatever. Yeah, that sounds about right though.
Yeah, well, probably a time to wrap up then.
Yep. Time to watch football.
Anything else to add?
No. We'll do our breakdown next week. of IndyCar.
We'll go over the
See-
whole season, talk about it, and go over our predictions. Probably talk NASCAR and have Taylor ignore us. Yeah, it'll be a good one, and we'll see what else we get. Maybe some more silly season happens.
Yeah, very possible.
Anyway, thank you very much for listening to this episode. We'll be back next week. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to Spare Parts. Remember to follow the show on Twitter at sparepartspod and the hosts at Stephen Clary, at Sean Cavarella, and at Tate Moore.